I sat on the search committee. I remember sitting with Bob Virgil and others. And then there was this young guy, Jim Carrington, and Jim had me and Bob in the first line because Jim said, "Don't change your mission." Anyone who understood the meaning of that mission understood what plant sciences could be, how to execute the science, and also even how to advance it into development and into the greater world.
In 2011, the Danforth Center was in pretty good shape, but that's because the previous decade, since 1998, some real giants built the center. The president coming in 2011, frankly, had a straightforward job to take the center to a bigger and better place.
Since moving to the Danforth Plant Science Center in 2011, I'm most proud of two things. One is transitioning my research group from working on a number of model systems to now being primarily focused on sorghum, which is globally a very important crop, especially in the developing world where millions of people use sorghum daily as an essential food crop.
We study the hidden half of plants, right? We study root systems. By studying the root systems of corn plants, we can reduce the amount of fertilizers we need, and in places where fertilizer is not available, we can boost yield through entirely biological mechanisms. I'm able to be a creative scientist here. I'm enabled to do that. So once a week, at least, if not once a day, I see something new that maybe no one's seen before, and that gets me out of bed in the morning.
I was looking for a place where I could continue my work and do it in an environment, in a community that was diverse and supportive and had a lot of opportunity for growth. From the day we got here, it was just apparent that this was really the place that we could do our best work, in part because of the facilities, and probably even more so than that because of the colleagues and the general climate. There's a very strong mission here at the Danforth Center to use plant science to improve the human condition. That's a mission I believe in, and I was so impressed by how much that mission permeated everything that happens at this center. And so it became clear that this was going to be where we should probably stay if we were serious about improving the human condition through our plant science.
A really great thing about the Danforth Center is if you have an idea and you're excited about it, it is so easy to get other people on board. Everyone here, they're really passionate and they get excited about new ideas and they see the potential in the new idea for you, for themselves, and they get on board.
The Danforth is an incredibly unique place in the world, particularly in plant biology. There aren't other examples of places where a question can be asked, then the experiments performed, the key data obtained, there was key discoveries made, and then those discoveries go beyond just discoveries to actually translated into real-world products and real-world technology that could actually help people and help the environment.
The idea of having a number of startup companies be created, and be viable and be able to attract investment and all that in a concentrated community or ecosystem, that was pretty, bold. And the thing that's really amazing is it's happened. Now it's, there's a long list of startup companies that have been created in the last 7 or 8 years. Including the one that I co-founded, Benson Hill Biosystems, which has grown in ways that are just mind-boggling to me.
What New Leaf Symbiotics is doing, and many others in this space, is developing a sustainable natural technology that allows agriculture to be more productive and more sustainable. When we founded the company, I was based, as were the other co-founders, on the East Coast. And we looked at various parts of the country to set the company up. Would have been more convenient, of course, for most of us if we'd stayed on the East Coast. But we looked at Boston, we looked at California, Research Triangle Park in North Carolina, and here in St. Louis. At Bridge and Danforth, we were able to gain access to equipment, scientists, and I would also want to mention the St. Louis Community College located at Bridge Park.
And there's an incredible amount of heavy lifting, translating basic science into something that's, that's a possibility at least to make a product or some new tool that can help the world, help feed the world.
Valent Biosciences is looking for, in terms of collaboration partners, we're looking for a shared vision of the future and what the potentials can be in terms of bringing together our resources and our capabilities and bringing that together in harmony with a partner.
It has been tremendously satisfying to form a partnership with Valent Biosciences, and in particular Warren Schaefer, who's the point person for all of this. Warren is a PhD, right? Comes from a science background, and he gets it. And what meeting him was a enormous turning point in my lab here and the work we do, because it enabled us to get the tool, which is this X-ray imaging system that allows us literally to look through the soil to see the roots. I mean, again, it's tremendously exciting.
I don't know how you could not be captivated by this work, to see plant roots in ways that you never could before. There's a shared purpose in terms of the work that's being done here with what we see as a corporation in terms of stewardship, right? How do we protect the environment? How do we make the most of the resources we have available? Results that we have obtained so far and expect to see in the future will be, in fact, applicable around the world.
We now have a vehicle, almost a pipeline, if you will, for translating basic discoveries into an actual product. I mean, I think it's quite likely that we could discover something using our instrumentation or something in the lab that makes it through the R&D pipeline at Valent and literally makes it into farmers' fields.
It's easy to think about the Danforth Center as a research institution. That's most of what we do. But some don't know the extent of education and outreach we do, particularly here in the St. Louis region. We reach over 2,000 students in schools every year.
We take scientists into schools that are underserved, underprivileged, with very low educational scores. These schools are benefiting greatly from interactions with professional scientists.
Kids that grow up in poverty and kids that don't have that support of going to a private school, even going home to food in their pantry. Science, math, technology, those are all things that are very limited to them. And to meet with the Danforth scientists and its representatives, there are people that are willing to help you help your students. So to see their interest, to see their knowledge grow, it made you feel like, you are having an impact as a teacher.
I am involved with lots of different recruiting events to try to bring more graduate students to the Danforth Center, because I see what a great impact it's had on my PhD career, and I think that it could help a lot of students. We have the Girls STEAM Ahead event here, where we get girls in the classroom and teach them about plant science at a young age. And I think just showing people how much of an impact that you can make as a plant scientist will push higher level scientists into coming into the plant science field.
What is happening here sort of feeds the soul of the culture, and feeds the soul of our community, not just our local community, but our regional community and ultimately our global community.